Yo, 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 it's your boy Sir DQ, man. It's another episode. Where you at right now, Warren? I'm with my guy, the one and only. It's only right that I give him a proper intro. You know, 12 years in, V12 inspired him. Friends driving, swims in the ocean for hiding. Sugar Hill Express sliding. Miami residing. Soulful yet soulless is the night ting. Halo brightening. Vars, Mr. Loves Cars. The one to the two. The one, not the two. Ladies and gentlemen, 12 man.
Hey,
My guy.
what's good? What's good? What's good? We here, finally here with it.
Yes, man. Mr. Too Cool, Mr. Cool himself, man. I'm so honored to sit down with you, though. I'm definitely a great fan. I've been listening to your music all week, man. I really tapped in and really sat down with the music of your whole career. And I definitely feel like you deserve your flowers, Mr. Flower Man himself.
Thank you, brother.
You know what I mean? And I feel like I feel like this is like your 12 years, like I said. You've been 12 years in, and funny enough, your name is 12. And I feel like, you know, I broke it down into each 3 years, and like they had their own sections. Like your first 3 years, I would say 23 to 2016. I would say you were like soul searching.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like the first track, Rabbit Hole, right out the gate, shows your eagerness and in pursuit of like of self. You know what I mean? Like your eagerness and searching of self, knowledge of self, I should say. You know what I mean? You got your homie Denzel on the track with you.
Yeah.
And I get every time with you and him get together, y'all are always on some very deep, like human gods, black balloons. Like it's
Yeah.
always about some soul searching stuff. Like how did your wisdom journey begin?
Just one more, just always believing that it's like it's more out there than to what it is that like we just grew up seeing. You know what I mean? Wanting to, I guess, inquire on more out of life, you gotta kind of think outside of the box, and you gotta kind of like think outside of, I guess, yeah, outside of the box that you grew up in. You know what I mean? So I feel like that wisdom kind of developed itself due to like the wanting.
When would you say that started?
I would say this like just like the internal search itself for me kind of started like around like the age of maybe like 19 was the first time.
Okay.
Like seeing a lot of my homies like pass away and stuff, like growing up here in Carol City and stuff.
Sorry to hear that.
And then I say like around like again around like 20, I want to say like around the age of like 24 or 5 is when it started again. You get what I'm saying? And started seeing some of the same things again, like, like looking at some of my homies who didn't like graduate that mentality. You know what I mean? At the age of when we were 17, 18, 19.
Stuck in the same mindset.
Stuck in the same mindset. When we turned 24, 25 years old, I'm like, all right, man, hold up, man. Y'all still like, you feel me? Like, yeah, on the same stuff. Like I go out of town, I go and do a show, fly to New York, or wherever I go, and then I come back home, get off the airport, get in my car, and on my way home, and I ride past, the corner store that I grew up going to, and I still see
Same people.
my homies at the corner store. And it was one day I was just like, hold on, man. Like my Uber driver was driving me home, and I was like, hey, I bet as soon as we hit this corner, there'll be a whole bunch of people standing outside. We hit the corner, and sure enough, it was. You feel me? And I was gone for like a month and a half. I was like, dang, they still doing the same thing.
Same shit.
So I feel like around that time in my life is when I had like another big search.
And I feel like early in your career too, like in the music wise, you really showed range.
Yeah.
Like you showed range very early. Like I feel like that's one of your strengths. Like you have many strengths when it comes to you. Like you're a man of community, camaraderie, brotherhood. I would say family oriented, truth seeking. I would say you like not like LL Cool J, but you got your own LL. You a late night lady lover. All right. You got the triple L and your song arrangements.
Yeah.
To be very congratulated on, very much so. You really are a genius when it comes to that. What do you say are some of your other strengths and favorite part about creating?
Sometimes like I feel like my biggest strength is like putting the pieces together. Like even like what you just said, like the things that you like the most, you feel me, is like the arrangements and the arranging of things itself. Even musically, that's what I enjoy the most, is just like arranging things and connecting people outside and within music and outside of the music industry itself too. So what I enjoy the most, creatively, is just being a good quarterback and passing the ball. Like, my community know that about me, like, the most, especially down here in Miami and the community I have in New York, is that, like, he passed the ball. He don't try to stand in between the route and the ball. You know what I mean? So I think that's what I enjoy the most, is like, you know, drawing the play sometimes and just sitting back and just like throwing the ball, passing the ball, and watching it, come to life. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I enjoy the most.
I feel like you definitely, like I said, you're a man of friends, and that was one of your first projects that you showed. Like I said, Stardust was the standout banger for sure.
Yeah.
That just
shout out to Nick. Yeah, that's Nick Leon. He produced that one.
And Jack and Ginger.
Yeah.
You was fighting drinking all week. That's what
That's
all it was
that's
about.
what the song is about. Yeah.
You was waiting for that Jack and Ginger over the weekend.
Yeah, that was who produced that one? Zach Fogarty. He produced
a lot of collabs.
Yeah, that was one of my first bandmates. And he produced if not, I know he engineered probably every song on the last A$AP Rocky's album, but he produced a big part of almost all of it too. Yeah, so Zach, he moved to LA, been killing it for a few years now.
And you're currently taking an abstinence from liquor. And other vices. What motivates that, and how do you feel like during that process?
Well, like right now, I mean, like partaking in like the drinking and smoking and things like that. Not because I was like battling it to an extent, anything like that. It was just more so just like me seeing how like it's been affecting like a lot of my friends. Right now, we living in a stressful time where it's like a lot of people don't have the means financially and different things. There's a lot of, we hear it about it all the time, like men going through a lot of different depressions. And it's just like, I've been seeing how like the vice been affecting my partners. So, I just decided to, do I guess like a reset, not solely for me, but to kind of lead by example and like motivate my homies to do it. And just make them feel like it's not just them. You know what I mean? Like, instead of me hitting them like, yo, bro, I ain't gonna lie, boy, you tweaking. It's just like, no, you ain't gotta do that. It's like, yo, if you gonna help somebody, like, grab their hands and go with them. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you need to. So that's what this whole thing is, even with me, is just like, I just, just want people to know that they're not doing it by themselves. I see how it's been affecting our community lately, too, so.
And this is something that you've done before.
I do it all the time. Right. You know what I mean? Like, I've gone, like, even like more recently, I've been not like, partaking in these things for about 4 or 5 months already. So when I just decided to go on this one, which is just an additional, time period to the 4 or 5 months I already been without, it was just straight up solely off of because I've seen how it's been affecting my homies, and I'm like, hey, yo, I'm gonna do it with you.
Right.
So now I gotta do it with them.
Being that brother man.
Yeah.
Another track on the Project Friends, Dark Wave Duchess.
Yeah.
Very Prince sounding. You a Prince fan?
Yeah, at the time, that was we was listening to a lot of that. Like when producing that, it was me, like I said, me, Zach Fogarty, John Falco, Nick Leon. We was listening to a lot of different stuff because at that time with Friends, that was kind of that was like the transition of me like actually saying like, okay, I can take music really serious. Like for some people who was already a fan of me prior, post SoundCloud, they probably felt like, yo, I was taking it serious. I was just being creative. And with Friends was me really just like being creative. Like I was just like, whatever I want to do, like whatever we want to do, let's just do it,
Right.
And then Stardust did extremely well, and I was like, okay.
Like, you're very much a person of independence. Like I said, like you said, you're a Prince fan. His stance on the music business and looked at it as very controversial at the time, but is now currently a very universal mindset. And you too adapted that mindset of being independent, self-reliant. What is the best part of being independent for you?
Not being in a situation where like I had to either want to answer to someone or like submit things to someone. I guess that will probably be, like the best part of it is being able to move on your own time. Like if you need to take a break or if you need to like, you can do it.
What's the most challenging about it?
Doing it on your own, like, and when I say on your own, not saying that you don't have like people around you but like on your own, meaning like on your own dime, straight up financially, and not being able to just pour and pour and pour. Cause now we in a system where you gotta pay to play.
Right.
So you know, so it's just like that's the difficult part. Is not having the back end, the back end support. You know?
So I'm gonna give you a few genres, right? And you
Yeah.
tell me your GOAT in that genre. All right.
Okay.
Jazz.
Jazz. Can't really answer that one right now.
R&B.
R&B. D'Angelo, yeah.
Okay. Hip hop.
Hip hop. Outkast.
Okay. Soul.
I mean, I would want to say D'Angelo for soul, and I would say for R&B if I had to change it. But I don't want to really change it.
Old school soul.
Old school soul, I mean, yeah. So old school soul would be like Al Green for sure for me. He's always been like my biggest. Like
Okay. Rock.
Prince.
Okay. Dance.
What would I say for dance? You know, I don't really know if it really fall under dance, like, cause it's still kind of soul.
Okay.
I would have to pass on that one. I don't know.
Who you thinking?
Like some of the house records that like,
Okay, I get what you're saying, because house music is kind of like
Yeah.
type of. Okay, but you can say house. I like
yeah,
that.
house.
All right. Nah, man, but so I ain't mad at that. But then continuing throughout that year, like in 2016, Natural High, you dropped that track.
Yeah.
Was that for Elevator?
No, it wasn't. I just like I created the record. DJ Dahi had. I think I got the record from. I don't remember
It just
how
was
that played
ironic.
out.
Like, hey, I'm on this
Yeah.
elevator, and I'm like, and the
Yeah.
elevator did the whole
They
video,
did
the
the whole
drop,
video with
the
us.
release.
Yeah, nah, but it was DJ Dahi. DJ Dahi had sent me the track, the beat, and I cut to it, and I dropped. I think I don't remember how that played. I don't know if I ended up reaching out to him or whatever, but he did grant me, to be able to, use the record. And DJ Dahi was definitely like one of my favorite producers at the time.
Dope.
You know what I mean? Like he produced a lot of Kid Cudi stuff, and I love how he like kind of like substitute a lot of his hi-hats with toms. His whole thing is like he'll build out a record, and like he'll build a lot of it like like just how most like trap or alternative rap trap beats will be built out, but he'll replace a lot of things with a lot of with a lot of tom drums, and but DJ Dahi though,
Okay. And you found God and Love at the end of 2016. You made a track called 16 as well. Can we get like that more 12 and 16 vibe again?
Like right now, I feel like like me going into like me working on like this project I'm working on now.
Yeah.
This would be my second studio album. You know what I mean? Like Sugar Hill Express was my first. Friends was just like a LP long playlist, I guess, whatever, like an album, but it was just a transition from SoundCloud over to, DSPs once they opened up for the independent artists to be able to just do it on their own. But his new project is just like I put it all into a pot, and that's what I'm doing right now.
And then the next 3 years of era, 2017 to 2020, I say, like you said, you're very selfless. You're selfless. I call it the selfless feature.
Yeah.
That was the 2017 and 2020. You have placements on Denzel's project, Denzel Curry's Imperial. I love the track, If Tomorrow Not Here, 2018.
Yeah, Denzel Gold Link.
Was the first collab with Iceberg my favorite song? Was that one of your first songs?
Nah. See, me and Iceberg, we I did the rendition to Naked Hustle.
Right.
And then I wanted to do a remix because Bird did the remix to the original with him, you feel me? With Bizzle. So I hit up Bird, and mind you, me and him never met ever, you feel me? So I don't remember how I reached out to him. I think I just like hit him up, or I think it was Dope and Gold. I was like, yo, can you get this to Bird real quick, bro? I need to get him on a remix for this. Like, bro, he was on the original remix, you feel me? Like, I want him to be on mine.
Right.
And sent it to him, and he jumped on it, and me and him linked up since, and we've been cool ever since. Like,
That's fire. And then you continue. Why songs like Rocket never made it to streaming, dog? I love that song.
Rocket did. I actually think Rocket is on streaming. Cause Rocket, I released it, and then I think I re-released it maybe on Swim or as a solo. But I released it through a distributor at the time. I was working with AWOL.
Mm-hmm.
I think I did release it. I did release it.
Test Our Luck.
Yeah, Test Our Luck. I think
With
that was
Scott. That was a very dope song.
What her name?
Scott.
Yeah, Scott. She was from
Sweden, I think.
Sweden.
And
that was for a Gap campaign with Sure and Future.
That was fun. Like I said, that was definitely a synced song.
Yeah.
And then I like how you valued Succulent.
Yeah.
To make that the opener for Swim.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You did that same thing with Let's Stay.
Yeah.
You kept that onto your Sugar Hill as well. You,
uh-huh.
like you smart. You know what I mean? And Let's Stay could have made it on Swim too.
Yeah.
It felt like it could have made that vibe. And then we got Thank the Game.
Yeah.
2019, a properly worked song.
Yeah.
You released it in 2019 in May. You remixed it later that year, October, with Guapdad. Talk about your relationship with him. Y'all are a frequent collaborator.
Yeah. So like, Childish Major, Guapdad are the first two people out of Florida musicians who actually like seen a record, was a fan of a record, and wasn't like didn't have an ego to like show their love for a record. And then even with me, like, I don't want to say challenging them because they didn't know that, but me challenging it, like, you know what, let me see what's up. Hey, yo, man, you really like it? You should get on it. You feel me? And it wasn't no hesitation. It was like, man, for sure, I'm on there. I love this record. I'm going to get on it.
Right.
And he got on it. You feel me? Sent it back. And I was just like, dang. And we linked up, and it was just like, you know, it was a great connection.
Loyal.
Yeah, Loyal, yeah.
What's the first track that comes under Vero?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I said, I've seen like a lot of different, like you just changing up, reinventing yourself. I think the best artists have to reinvent themselves. I think Jay-Z's a perfect example of that. He reinvented himself every few years from this to that, Married Man to the Mogul to this and that. And I feel like you definitely evolved properly. We get to 2020 now, Tomorrow After One. A dope project that really speaks to your camaraderie, Jits and My Dogs. For the homies right there. Selflessness. You talk about on Liars, like that's the type you can't stand. And then halfway, I feel like that's your, let me just put the tip in type song. You know what I mean? Let me just put it halfway, and then a banger OMG, like oh my, like the perfect smoke split to relax.
That project was something that I felt I needed to do just for me because like we were just coming off the pandemic. And then like that year I was supposed to release Sugar Hill Express and I couldn't due to like pandemic, and like I was trying to work out like a situation to deal with a distributor I ended up signing with in 2020 of January. And they ended up like dissolving out their company, and like the president over there ended up going over to where did he go? Oh man, I forgot where he went. He went to Orchard.
Okay.
Jay Irvin. And but I signed to him I signed with him in January.
Okay.
You know, it was me, Baby Rose, Brent Fayez, and Pink Sweats. We was kind of like
fans of all.
So like I was like, yo, finally I got a team that I know for a fact understand my style of music. They get it off top. You feel me? And I signed, 2 days after my son was born, January 14th, I signed maybe like January 16, 17. And March rolled around and pandemic started in March.
Damn.
So, they ended up like closing out a company and letting all of us go, and they was like, yeah, I'll keep y'all advances, And I was like, that was a big blessing. You know what I mean? And he went over to Orchard and yeah. Like, so I was really like down, not because of anything like specific, but I was really, really like disappointed with it, like, because I was like, yo, finally, like, I would have even went over there. I would have went to their camp for no signing,
right?
Like for no fee,
right?
Like y'all ain't gotta give me nothing. I'm happy
I
that
appreciate it with somebody that gets it.
Well, I'm with a gang who get it. You know what I'm saying? Like that was always my thing. You feel me? So, that played out like that, and it definitely put me in a position where I was able to still stay independent and still be able to sustain a nice and beautiful career, and simple career, and still have space to be able to continue to grow and demand for more.
Right.
Whenever I feel it's it's time, or when the best time come about, when the right person or the right people or the right team come about, it's like, hey, look, I did a lot of the building blocks already.
Right.
What y'all want to do?
The Justice League and joined forces
Yeah.
together. Everybody done got their
So
hands. Be unstoppable now.
I'm patient, just waiting on the right time. But that year, that project was needed for me as a creative. It was just a year in which a project in which I just needed to like release. Like I was constipated. You feel me? I was like, yo, I gotta drop something. I need some art to come out.
Right. And being a staple of positivity, consistency, and community, one of the few, if any, black-owned and operating studios in Wynwood. You was at, you opened up Velvet Velour around that time as well.
Yeah, same year.
You got Hold Me Down with One Way Frank, Broward County holding it down. Your talent to flip and cover Miami classics is just undeniable.
Yeah.
Like I said, from Naked Hustle, you did that, but you did it on there.
Yeah.
Like you do that very well. What experiences sourced the creation and duplication of 12 in these years, leading to Sweet Ride?
So which one? I think. Which one?
There was Sweet Ride, man. I'm messing with you. Everybody calls it Sugar Hill Express, man. Sweet Ride, man.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm messing with you, dog.
Nah, yeah,
Sugar Hill Express, dog.
It's definitely that though.
Yeah.
I mean, what got me?
What experiences?
The experience. So like the experience was all like personal experiences. Every single song on that project came from a extremely vulnerable, personal place within myself. So like before, like sitting down and like really like focusing in on Sugar Hill Express, started working with Fanatic and Zach. At the time I was having like an issue like with myself when it came to creating, because like, yo, I want to create music that have replay value, but I don't want to like try to make a pop record or like a, you know what I'm saying? So I seen this documentary of Nina Simone, and she was like, it's an artist's duty to reflect. And the moment I heard that was the moment I realized what it is I needed to do. The best way to create a record that has replay value, or the attempt to create a record that has replay value, you have to be what? Honest. Because even if a person don't relate to it later on, they might go through something in life where they like, oh, yo, they can actually like relate to it and attach themselves to it. And then for those who can right now in this moment, it's a moment for them that they're living in. And that is the replay. Lower East Coast, you feel me? They linked me with Fanatic and Zach, two Australian boys. Amazing. They produce
FNZ, man.
Yeah, FNZ.
Fire.
Yeah, they fire. They produce a bunch of Kanye stuff, Donda, all kind of stuff. Yeah. And they produce every song. Them, Reed Waters, which is a dope DJ from out here.
Yes.
Mikey the Grand, which is from Psychic Mirrors. The Cuban from Opalaka. They produce everything, bro. They produce like Loyal, which is my favorite song. Like I said, like that's my favorite record.
Loyal reminded me of Caretaker from Drum.
Yeah.
I'll be
with the stretches.
Yeah. And I was like, it was a pleasure to see you collab with Drum later on in your career. And I was like, damn, this is dope.
Yeah,
this is so fitting.
It was crazy because like even like with Solace, like I worked with every artist that I'm actually currently a fan of.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And Ben, like Drum, I've been a fan of Drum for years. Like to get him on a song for me, I don't care about the rest of the world. For me, like was like I always went. That was one of my bucket lists. You don't even know that. You know what I'm saying? Like thanks to Guapdad.
Yeah, I've been big fan of Drum.
Like that's literally like he was literally one of my bucket lists like R&B artists to want to work with. You know what I'm saying? Like I wish he was on Loyal. I ain't gonna.
Dog, listen. I've been working on it.
What? But shout out to Jay Howard. Jay Howard made that record amazing and beautiful.
Whose idea was it for the Clearing the Throat?
That was all me, man.
That was fire.
Yeah, me and Nate.
For the beginning of the second verse, that was fire. I just love that you just took your time in it. That was so real and honest.
That song, bro. Like a lot of people don't know what that song is even about, bro. But like it's like
being loyal though.
Yeah, it's definitely about being loyal. You feel me? It's about being loyal. But it's like doing whatever it takes to remain loyal. You
Right.
feel me? Like that song, bro, that song is definitely, like I said, like being honest, like a lot of people don't really, like I said, they don't pick up on it. Like you hear the first verse, it's like, what you think he talking about?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
No, like I said, this whole area is loyalty to home.
yeah.
Location, a real Miami Night Sliders for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Blue Diamond, almost gave you my heart. That ain't love.
Blue Diamonds.
Mhm.
You know, you have Let's Stay. You know, Let's
Paper
Stay also
Chasing.
is another one. Like I said,
Paper
everything is a
chasing, you
story.
was asking for loyalty.
Yeah, I was
When
asking
I'm out for a
loyalty.
long time, hold me
Uh-huh.
down because I'm just out paper chasing.
Mhm.
That was like the last verse there. What about me though? Now
Yeah.
this is what I love about this. This is men being vulnerable right
Yeah.
here. An emotionally intelligent man requires a mature woman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Always running to me with your problems. I ain't trying to solve them. Enough about you. What about me?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a vulnerable thing right there to take a stance of. And I feel like, you know, you talked about even like going through different moments of just battling depression and stuff like that. Like mental health is very, very important and essential.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And what are some of the things that you do to help yourself stay mentally healthy?
Just keep my feet moving. If it's me being in the gym, if it's me taking on a project, if it's just me, you know, figuring out how to level my son up even more and pour into him even more and more. Because I mean, my satisfaction comes from doing for others. So if it's an opportunity in which I can do, you know what I'm saying? If it's doing for my partners, doing for anyone like that right there, it helps me stay sane. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, everybody got, you know, something different, like, you know. But, like, for me, honestly, like, helping people literally is, like, therapeutic for me. It's like, yo, I can't fix my problem right now, but maybe I can help you fix yours.
I said it before. I know that I always make sure that I'm doing something that I'm helping people. It makes me know I'm doing something that God wants me to do.
Yeah.
And I love helping people. And I know that if I'm always doing something that I'm helping people, that means it's something that God is wanting me to do. This ain't an evil, you know what I mean, an ill intent thing. It's not always self-gratitude. Like, it's got to be about helping people. Back to you, no pun intended, with Childish Major, Ryan. Why I don't socialize? Simply I don't like to. Maybe I don't like you. New friends is new problems. That new drama, and I'm sorry if I changed it, it was for the better. Didn't mean to hurt your feelings.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, a lot of people sleep on that one. I ain't gonna count. That was my favorite bar in the whole project.
If you slid right there.
New drama, I ain't sorry if I changed it was for the better.
Didn't mean to hurt your feelings. Yeah, like,
Yeah.
you teased us with the ending though, that 5-second vocal at the end. I said, why he took that? Why he didn't extend that for longer? Why you didn't do that?
Yeah.
But it's all, they're my favorite song. I slid on the way here to this song. Bang that sugar.
Yeah.
Bang that sugar. Bang that sugar. Bang that
Radio
sugar.
James over there, Mike checking on that for me.
That's made for the Cutlass.
Yeah.
Made for the Cutlass. Now, like, that's, you snuck in the Dirty Mackin' on there too, though. You said, and we both know your man can't handle. I said, why? I don't even care about the Dirty Mackin', dog, because it's slime. But speaking of cars, man, I got you a gift, man.
Okay.
All right, and I know you're a car man, so let's see what car you pull out first, and I'm, you know, I got a few questions based on these cars, man. So.
Oh man, I'm kind of scared. What we got? What we got?
Okay.
Okay, we got the BMW.
You said in my Beamer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we in my Beamer. Shout out to Ice Cold Bishop on that thing, my dogs. Everybody on there. Everybody on that project from the West Coast.
I had to get the Beamer. What's that one now?
What this is right here? This not a Cutlass though. What this is?
It look kind of like a Cutlass, but I figured you might like that one though.
Yeah, this a nice one. It's a little cutty, man.
Yeah, I feel like you had a blue Cutlass.
Yeah, I got a baby blue Cutlass.
Yeah, so I figured you would appreciate that one in there.
Got a, you know, a 442.
What's that?
I ain't gonna even lie. So like, what this is right here? This one ain't got no.
Let me see.
Ain't got no badges on it.
Oh,
That's a Toyota. Oh, there we go. That's Toyota. Yeah, so like.
You are Haitian.
And I used to have a Mitsubishi.
You had to have.
Same shape.
That's
same one.
automobile, man. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
For the culture.
I had a Mitsubishi for 4 years. What it says? Oh yeah, I had one of these.
What's that?
Boy, got a little Nissan.
Now, yeah, I feel like now the Nissan Sentra. Now I feel
like. Lie, this a little lineup, man. This the broke boy come up lineup. You know, you make your way to the Cutlass and the Beamer.
Now, exactly. So now You see, I feel like the Nissan as well speaks to your, dealing with toxicity. I feel like Solace in the Night, it was a whole project about dealing with toxicity.
It definitely
And
is.
I feel like, nobody's more toxic than a woman that drives a Nissan.
For sure. With the faded out paint.
Now that
It's
one right
good.
there, I
It's a
feel like was
roster,
some
a little
old school.
roaster.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
like you could just appreciate that old
Nah,
school
for sure.
one right there. And I think I got another one in there.
A lot of hot
other
rod.
ones that, you know what I mean? That's.
What we got in here? What we got in here?
I know you a
This
man of
last
cars.
one.
No, there's another one in there.
There's
too.
one
That
more in
one
there?
I feel like that's just a real classic Miami
Nice
slider.
little SS Slam.
Yeah.
This right here is gas.
It's a green one in
It's
there.
a
That's
green
real.
one.
Like I
Let me
feel like
see.
one day I can see you pushing one of those too, brother. I know it's not. I know you're an old school kind
Okay,
of
there
car
you go.
man. But I think you might. Let's see. There we go.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's a vet. What this one is,
I'm
what
not-
this is. It's an exotic supercar, so it can be whatever we want it to be.
But that one right there, I feel like I
You
see
know, we
you
gotta go ahead and
appreciate
get a little monster green Rari.
I feel like
What's
you could
up?
appreciate that. Use a car.
Yeah, I ain't
man.
gonna lie, man. My favorite car is a Monte Carlo 87 T-top.
Okay.
You know, that's my favorite car all the time. Like a lot of people, they'll choose the Grand National over the 87, but me, I choose the 87.
So too much. Perfect placement on the project.
Too much.
You slid on that because I feel like the placement on that project right there. By the time it came on, I was like, "Dang, hold on, what? I don't remember hearing this single. What song was this?"
Yeah.
And I said, "Hold on." And then that's why I said Broken Wings. I appreciated Broken Wings so much more when you reached that part of the project right
Yeah.
there. Like it set the complete mood, and you could feel the red light on in that song right there. Better, phenomenal track as well. Then Lady Draco.
Yeah.
This is. You know what I mean? Like I said, this is very telling about these next coming years because 2024, that was the year of dance, ladies and gentlemen. This is when this man really showed his really art side and artsy side. From the covers, did you collab with Dez? Like there were just a lot of very artsy covers and a lot of dance music.
Yeah.
What are some of your other arts that you love? I think really photography was your first.
Well, no, video was my first.
Okay.
Yeah, video. Me and Forbes, like me and him working on like my own personal projects, but also working on like Puya and everybody else's projects too at the time.
What are some of the other loves though?
Ain't nothing I love more than just like film and like watching film come together. If it's like my homies producing their stuff and I'm just working there, like there's nothing I love more than that. You know, cars. You know, building cars.
Sculpture, architect, literature. I know you said film and music, theater.
Theater a little bit. I appreciate it, but you know one thing. I just to go back to one of the things that I do consistently all the time. Whenever I feel down, like super down, bro, I plant something.
Oh, word. You got a green thumb?
Huh?
You got a green thumb?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like literally every time, like I'm like feeling stressed, down bad. I feel like I'm not doing nothing or I'm not growing. I literally go plant another plant at my mom's house in her yard.
That's dope.
Like all the little trees that's all out there all came from a certain point. Like I know when I'm dead and I'm going off this earth, like my family is going to every plant.
That's fire.
Yeah.
That's fire. You see.
I just realized that about myself though. I realized that about myself like a week ago.
And I'm glad we made it to 2024 because this is the great years that I really get to talk about this great guy here, man. In 2024, you said on Twitter, my final determination comes down to how you get when you drunk. I got to see you drunk before I determine if you got a future. You said that at 1 a.m., June 4th, 2024. To double down on that, you said, I have to know how you going to hold it down when you're alone with them whole-ass friends you got.
Yeah. It's 1 a.m.
That's just 1 a.m.
That's
talk.
just 1 a.m. talking.
Well, then you also said at 4:42 p.m. on August 14, 2025, the love ain't...
4:42 a.m.?
This is 4:42 p.m.
Oh, p.m. I was about to say, dang!
You said the love ain't real if it come with strings. It's a puppet show.
For sure. Yeah, man. Somebody got to control you. It ain't real. You know what I'm saying? They can be with anybody if that's the case.
Like I said, you're a wise man learning, man. You said at 8:42 p.m., November 4th, 2023, you learn a lot on the bench. What can you learn on the bench?
Just observing. You learn how to play.
Mm.
You know, sometimes you just got to sit back and just watch.
Mm. You said also 9:42 a.m., it's a morning one now, 2026 now, more recent. April 24th, you said you can't build nothing solid on secrets.
Yeah.
Those are some dope ones. You got a lot of dope quotes just like this. I had to find some funny ones in there, but you have a lot of like it's like the book of 12 right here.
Yeah.
You got some real hard hitting words to people. Like I said, another one is music is special. I spend a lot of time by myself, and it's music that makes me feel like I'm not all alone. It fills up a lot of space in my personal life where I could become depressed by loneliness, but I thank God I can create it, and the other artists I love exist.
Yeah.
Like music really is a safe haven for sure. You know what I mean? And I feel like you know, people like you, I can't imagine if we'd ever had a Tone, man. I feel like I'm glad that you're at where you are. Like I said, you deserve all these flowers up until this point, that you've been continue going. And then you got Better Off as Homies. All Mine. That right there is for the Trunks.
Yeah, I love All Mine. That's one of my like.
Patience is a straight banger with Major 9.
Yeah.
Play No Games. Shout out to the homie Ricky and Kamari. They produced that one. That was a nice one. Like I said, there's more dance music. Dance, the track you had called Dance, is definitely like a Afrobeat bag. You know what I mean? It just expanded. You had a remix to Bang That Sugar, the Miami House version. That right there was true to the crib. Like I was like, dang, how did he make this song even just that much more slotted? But then we get like, you get a single this is like a teaser of the new project coming out, Solace In The Night. Before we get there, Blueberry Syrup. So we go to Blueberry Syrup.
Yeah.
I love this track now. I really love this track. You get like a live point of view of 12 and getting at a young lady, basically. That's how I feel like you in there. But then who is the chick that's on there?
Candice. So everybody on that project is all Haitian. So you have Candice, which is she's a amazing artist as well. She's from here. Okay. Grew up here. She spent a lot of time in Haiti, like still now I think she's there now. And then you have Lou Phelps, which is Kate Trinada's brother. And he a lot of, if not, I'm gonna say a large piece of Kate Trinada's catalog. If you hear a lot of like God vocals and stuff, that's Lou Phelps. And you know, Kate Trinada, he a Zoe too. Okay. But yeah, man, like when I first was making that record, I had Kate Trinada in mind. I was like, yo, I wish I could get him on here. Like, I would love it if he could just like produce on here, hop on here. But the record was pretty much already done. I was like, you know what? Let me get Lou Phelps on here. So I hit up Junil. Shout out to Junil. And he linked me up with him and sent the record, and he jumped on it. And I was like, dang, okay. I wonder who else I can get on here. Like, I want to get like one more person on here. And then Candice just came to mind. Oh my I was gosh. Like, yo. Dog. So it was just like the perfect Zoe record. You know what
I got emotion, I got motion.
Yeah, exactly.
Take precaution in that ocean. Give me good devotion with that devotion. Now your baby say you want to take a sip of this potion.
Nobody knows me.
Like you know me. But you know my weak point. And you keep going. You just trying to climax to the peak point. Oh, what?
Yeah, she snapped. She had to close that. She had to close it. Dog. She had to close the record.
She slid.
Yeah, Candice killed it.
Yeah, I feel like you had to cut 2 verses hard, dog.
Yeah,
your second verse was tough, though. Listen, now we get to In My Beamer, which is my favorite track off of Solace. At first out the gate, dog. And I feel like In My Beamer was definitely like almost a standout almost for me, but like I said, it was so great to see the drum collab. Yeah. You know what I mean? You opened it so much, but that was just very much, this is the story of 12 and surviving toxicity right here. Yeah. And I was like, man, then, you know, even ended it on Club 24, you got 03 Greedo. Like, this is like your graduation years. That's what I call it now. 2025 to present, this is 12 years in. You did your schooling. Yeah. Like I said, you had the first 3 years, you was soul searching. You know what I mean? The next few years, Selfless feature. You was loyal to home. And now it's the graduation years. You like really reaping in all your benefits now. Really like an 8-track project now. It's well concise. It's very, very dope project. Papa Keith interview on 103 to 5 beat. That happened last year. And you said on there, get in the way. Yeah. Like just, you know, let whatever the wave is, get in the way. Explain that a little bit more too.
I mean, that's like my logic on everything. which is like if you don't know what you're doing or you don't know where you need to be going, like honestly, just get in the way. People be like, yo, how did you do this? How did you do that? Like, yo, bro, go there. Like, and just metaphorically let the water flow and just stand there. You should get hit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna get hit by something. You know what I'm saying? Like, just get in the way of the current. You know, just like look at it like that. You know what I mean? So like, you stand out there long enough, the mist will get on you. You know what I mean? Like, just get in the mix.
For crashing out, you know what I mean? What's your toxic trait?
I would think, and I would say like my toxic trait is, I would say my toxic trait probably is like trying to understand a person too much when sometimes you don't really need to. And sometimes like when you do that, right, you kind of pacify your person and baby them into a position in which that
enable them in a sense.
And they continue to behave in the ways that they do. And you know, some people are like, oh my God, that's narcissistic of you. You ain't taking no accountability for your own whatever. But it's like, yo, bro, like, I mean, I could sit here and say that I'm nonchalant at times and just really don't care. But it's like, I need to, you know, I gotta care about myself more than I care about you. You know what I'm saying? I gotta care about my kid more than I care about you. So it's just like, I feel like I almost sometimes, you know, I would treat my partner like they're a child. You know what I mean? Sometimes.
Baby
because
them.
I like to take care of
Nurture
everything.
them. Right.
You know, so I think a big part of me is not being able to remove my hand off of situations once I'm involved.
What's some red flags that you accept? What's some toxic traits that you don't mind? So like some girls are clingy.
I don't mind. I don't really know. Other than lying, I don't really know. I don't
You
think
don't
nothing.
mind lying?
Nah, other than like, you know, you just can't be a liar. You can't be you can't under communicate.
Right.
I need you to.
Like
I need you to like
emotionally intelligent man needs that
overly
mature.
communicate. Like don't make it an excuse that you don't want to upset me because you can't upset me.
Right.
You literally you cannot upset me when you tell me something.
Right. What's on Just Me and You, another track? You made some movie references.
Yeah.
What's your favorite movie genre?
For sure. Well, hood stories, like all of it. You know what I mean? Like Baby Boy, you know, Belly.
You did mention Belly on there.
Yeah, like I really, and then also too, that was also, you know, to like shine light on my favorite song from, again, like I work with all of the artists who I really, really, really enjoy and listen to even prior to meeting them. You know, like me working with Fabo again, like me working with Fabo for the first time was like, bro, again, a bucket list. Like I discovered him maybe like 2 years before doing a record with him, and my favorite song was Jelly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He referenced you know, Belly in there. So I was like, you know, I'm gonna, you know, I wrote something dope and slide off in there, you know, and yeah, like, you know, but other movies that I really like, I like I don't know what you call them, like rom-coms, like, This Is 40.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
My favorite movie is Wedding Crashers.
Yeah,
like
Wedding Crashers is one of my, is in my top. You know, This Is 40.
I love a good drama.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Okay.
And my favorite genre, my favorite genre overall would be like romance and stuff like that. So,
mythology type shit.
Yeah.
Okay. So you said Mr. and Mrs. Smith, you know, like a Queen and Slim, Bonnie and Clyde, like a type of vibe you had even on Just Me and You.
Yeah.
Your Queen to your Slim type of thing. What are your favorite qualities of a woman?
Communication, for sure. And just like thinking ahead. A woman who kind of like think ahead and understands that like I'm not just out here. Like I'm working. Like really working. So like, and I'm tired all the time. So like when I come around, like just make sure like I'm good, because I'm gonna make sure that you good.
Right.
You know, so like thinking ahead is one of the big things, and then also, you know, I like I'm really big on church. You know, so like I would say like a big plus is a woman who prays and will pray for you. You know what I'm saying? Like having a woman that would literally like without you asking like pray over you is the biggest of it all. Like only woman who ever prayed over me was my mom and my grandma.
And then, you know, we got the new single with Zay two times you had recently.
Yeah.
And then you got a newer project, a newer single coming out. Not yet, but it stays true to that 2024 era with dance music. You know, paying a little homage.
Yeah. Paying homage to the Chicago house scene. You know, them being geographically one of the first to like kind of like build out like that whole sound when it comes to like the garage house and you know EDM vibes for the blacks. You know, so like Knuckles being one of them. You know, and they catered. It was kind of like built around like the queer community itself too, like a safe haven, a safe place for them to be able to go and create these sounds and them do their thing and dance whatever. And it kind of spilled out into London and a lot of other places, which is now we have, you know, like deep soul house. You know, a lot of
all type of different genres, deeper
within the EDM space. Yeah.
Yeah, dog. So I like to see where you going next. It's definitely been an honor to sit down with you, man. Any last words? You ain't got no questions for me or nothing, man.
Nah, I ain't got none, man. You know, just.
But any last words at least?
Any last words? Nah, man. You know, we just need to, you know, just keep doing these things, having these sit downs, and just having these talks. You know, check-ins. You know, mental check-ins with your brothers and your sisters.
Oh, for sure.
You know, and what's going on in the community, and just keeping each other up on beat with things, and letting the world see what it is that's going on down here in South Florida, for sure.
Yeah, man. Stay tapped in. Like, you know, I like to tell y'all, man, every Tuesday I'm always doing Clean Radio, playing Tapped In Tuesday. So definitely going to be playing some 12 on Tuesday, man. Y'all make sure y'all stay tapped in. Y'all be safe. Appreciate y'all. It's your boy, Sir DQ. Yo.
We out.